since childhood, I was always alone. Born into the Rapier family, one of the top 10 noble houses in the empire, I was surrounded by wealth and prestige. Yet, despite all the luxury, I was left with nothing but emptiness and loneliness. All I ever wanted was to be loved and to love someone in return. But my father, he was always too busy caring for my mother, who was frail from birth, to notice me. I understood and couldn't hold it against him, but that didn't make the isolation any easier. I spent my days wandering the vast, beautiful greenhouse utterly alone. Then one day, everything changed. A boy named Giselle unexpectedly came into my life. He became my sole comfort, the one person I loved. I was convinced that this feeling would last forever. At least that's what I thought. Until now. But Giselle, he left me restless, distracted, chasing after someone else. How could he do this to me? He always said he loved me, but his actions told a different story. He claimed I had nothing to worry about, that I was above Yulia, the cold, expressionless woman. After 10 years, she still wouldn't let him close to her. He laughed it off, promising that once we were married, I'd become the lady of the Marquis family, with all the wealth and fortune that came with it. He assured me there was no going back. A week later, I found myself at the Rapier mansion, unable to believe what had happened. Giselle Morto, the man I had loved for so long, had betrayed me. He took my maid, the girl I trusted, into his arms. Giselle, who was once an illegitimate child of the Morto Baron family, had shattered everything I had believed in. He was someone who never could have imagined being an heir. Despite that, I loved him and gave him all the support I could for a whole 10 years. "My lady, are you all right?" Nanny's voice broke through my thoughts. "You haven't slept in a week. If this keeps up, you'll make yourself sick." "I'm sorry for worrying you," I replied softly, "but you won't need to worry anymore." Then there was Melissa. Melissa Jean, the commoner girl Giselle brought into our home years ago. She had no right to be my maid, but I allowed it because she had grown up alongside Giselle. I treated her like a sister. And yet, "Melissa?" I called out coldly. "Yes, my lady," she responded, oblivious to what was coming. "Don't call my name so casually from now on." Her face twisted in confusion. "What? Did I do something wrong? Why are you saying this all of a sudden?" I looked at her, anger simmering beneath the surface. "You truly don't know, do you?" I paused. "How dare you speak the words Ister with your mouth after what you've done?" Melissa's face paled as she finally understood. "What did I do wrong?" she stammered, but I cut her off. "Nanny," I said sharply, "throw her belongings away, and that dress I gave her, rip it to shreds." "But my lady," Melissa pleaded, her voice trembling, "if you throw me out, I'll have nowhere to go. Please, I beg you. You didn't appreciate the grace that was shown to you. You coveted something beyond your station. Now, it's time to take back everything I gave you." As she continued begging, my mind was made up. Melissa would suffer far worse than I had. The pain she and Giselle had caused me, they would feel it 100-fold. Both of them would regret ever crossing me. I would make sure of it. "My goodness, Miss Yulia, you're absolutely breathtaking. Lord Giselle will be just as amazed." Melissa beamed as she handed over the bracelet. "And I've brought the bracelet you always wear." The Rapier family had an old legend, passed down through generations. It was said that the empire was founded with the help of a red dragon, and that the Rapiers were its descendants. Whether the legend was true or not, one thing was undeniable. The Rapier family was born with extraordinary magical power. Because of this, they had long attracted the attention of mages from the Mage Tower. Among them, Yulia stood out the most. She had possessed exceptionally strong mana since childhood, but her power had always been stifled by her father's words. "It's a monster," he had said when she was young, and ever since, Yulia had worn a sealing bracelet to suppress her power. But now, "It's fine," Yulia said coldly. "Put it away, Melissa. I don't need it anymore." Her voice was firm, resolute. That's right, it wasn't needed anymore. Yulia Rapier had made her decision. She would become a monster, one that would crush everyone who had wronged her. "Oh my, Yulia," Giselle's voice rang out. This is the Yulia Rapier I know, isn't it? You're truly stunning. Audacity dripped from her words as she spoke to Giselle and Melissa. Do you both think I'm oblivious to everything happening right now? Thank you, Giselle, Yulia responded with a smirk. I'm glad it's you who's pleased and no one else. Pleased? Giselle grinned. You know very well, Yulia. You're the only one for me. Changing the subject, Giselle added, I heard you're entering the Academy's graduation tournament. How's your preparation? Are you going? Yulia asked. Of course, Giselle replied. For someone of Giselle's rank, gaining admission to the Academy was no small feat. Lower-ranking nobles usually found the high tuition fees and exclusive selection process to be formidable barriers. But Giselle, she had made it, thanks to the unwavering support of the Rapier family. Well, no, it was more than that. It was her own efforts that got her this far. Keep an eye on me, Yulia, Giselle said confidently. Winning might not be easy, but I'll do it for you. I'm sure you will, Yulia reassured her. Just then, Melissa entered, looking concerned. Miss, Giselle just arrived. She must be tired. Shouldn't we unpack her things? Oh, would you mind doing that for me? I am feeling a bit worn out, Giselle said with a tired smile. But Yulia's expression grew serious. Actually, Giselle won't be staying here tonight. She'll be at an inn. What? Melissa's shock was evident. What do you mean? My father decided, Yulia explained, her tone apologetic but firm. He believes it's improper for a noblewoman who isn't formally engaged to stay here. He's worried about potential scandals, especially since Giselle is the illegitimate daughter of a baron. Despite her efforts, Yulia's father had refused to approve the engagement. Looking back, she was almost grateful. I'm sorry, Giselle. I'll keep trying to convince him. Giselle sighed but didn't argue. Well, if that's how it is, I'll stay at the inn tonight. She paused for a moment, then added with a sly grin, Melissa, I've booked an extra room for you. Can you attend to Giselle? Melissa hesitated. Are you sure? Of course. I trust you to take good care of her. Besides, it's more convenient if you're there too. Melissa's face flushed slightly as she replied, I'll get everything ready right away. A little later, Yulia turned to Melissa. Is the person I asked for here? Yes, miss, Melissa replied. This is Beryl Circa, from the Circa family. Beryl stepped forward, nervous. I'm here to understand why you wanted to meet with me. The door opened and the tension in the air was palpable. You're Giselle Mordo's first opponent in the tournament, right? Yulia asked sharply. Beryl nodded, unsure of where this was going. And you've agreed to lose the match for a hefty sum of money, correct? Beryl stammered. That's... Relax, Yulia interrupted smoothly. I'm not here to scold you. I don't know what Giselle offered, but I'm prepared to give you 5 times that amount. I just need you to do one thing for me. Beryl's eyes widened. What do you want me to do? Then make sure not to skip any more practices. Yes. Asterisk, sigh, asterisk. At dawn, he suddenly said he had to rush off somewhere. Was it just for the Academy's swordsmanship competition? Your Majesty, the Emperor. Emperor Karstein von Belliot entered. What? Isn't it good to change the atmosphere once in a while? Please don't make excuses. Do you think I don't know you're trying to avoid Princess Versina? Just ignore it. We have to preserve the pure bloodline of the imperial family, but to have her serve me, a brother who treated her like livestock her entire life, doesn't it send shivers down your spine just thinking about it? Your Majesty, people are listening. If they want to listen, let them. I can't stand that behavior anyway. The sound of kids fighting is more pleasant. Well, I already said I couldn't allow that. The Marquise's daughter can travel in a first class, the Illan class, but the commoner girl must go to the Landrin class. I also have tickets. Isn't there any way? How many times must I explain? It doesn't matter if you have the ticket or not. That's the law, miss. Then, without anyone knowing, Melissa, there's nothing more I can do at this point. My lady, I'm sorry. I should have looked into it more. I'll arrange for the best seat in Landrin class instead. Yes. Are you really okay with that? What if you get caught? You don't have to worry. No one will know I'm Yulia Lapierre. How? As long as I have this ring. Ring. This ring was crafted by my step-cousin, who's a wizard. It's said that you can change your appearance by channeling mana into it like this. I can't believe it. It really is my face. Wait a minute, do you know how to use a sword? What if you get hurt? Don't worry about that, I'll never lose to a fake. The next match is starting soon. The long-standing tradition of the Academy's swordsmanship match, the fourth match features Baron Morto's son, Giselle Morto, against Beryl Circa from Count Circa's family. Let's be courteous to each other. Giselle, right now you're probably thinking you're going to win. Even if I worked hard to get them into the academy, using such dirty tactics to win, start. If this is the case, it seems they learned nothing at the academy they entered. Well, did you know, Giselle? When I was young, I secretly learned swordsmanship from my father because I needed to protect myself. Even though it was just basic self-defense swordsmanship. Seriously, that was pathetic. Cook, that's enough. The winner is Beryl Circa. This isn't what you promised. Such a pity, to someone so inept, all the time I spent on you. Hey, it was over so quickly, but how on earth did he break the sword with such a slim body? That sword must have been enhanced with mana. Huh? What did you just say? Luzanne, bring that person to me. That person? Do you mean Sir Morto? What business do I have with the losing side? Faster? Ah, yes. Finally, I found it. My red dragon? Impressive, my lady. Did you learn swordsmanship? You split the sword in half. Just a bit. I learned from my father when I was young. Anyway, with this, the plan succeeded. The swordsmanship competition at the academy is a crucial event for nobles to showcase their training. Even if you're not a warrior, it holds significant importance. Despite all the support given, he lost in the first round. Giselle's already poor reputation will only worsen, won't it? I mean, there's that reason too, but honestly, I just wanted to punch him. Beryl Circa, are you here? Ah, yes, the Emperor has commanded it. Prepare yourself immediately and present yourself to His Majesty. What? To the Emperor? What? The Emperor was at the arena? More importantly, what's the matter? Your Majesty, Beryl Circa has arrived. Oh, so you are. Beryl Circa. I greet your Majesty. No need to tremble. Your swordsmanship was so remarkable that I wanted to see you in person. Now that I've seen you, you may leave. Thank you. Luzanne, follow that person and secretly interrogate him. What? Interrogate? That man isn't the swordsman we saw earlier. He must have had a stand-in. Understood. Oh, and find out where the stand-in is as well. They dared to mock the sacred swordsmanship competition of the academy. They must face appropriate punishment. Did you hear? Hear what? That Lord Morto lost in the first round? Oh my, is that true? The rumor's spreading like wildfire. Even though the Rapier family supported him so much, I heard they even tried to bribe the opponent. The Rapier lady must be in a terrible state. Shh, they're coming this way. It's as I expected. In high society, rumors spread like wildfire. Little scandals and damaged reputations will slowly strangle you, Giselle. No one will support you. And when I am all that remains, everyone will abandon you. It's been a while, Lady Rapier. I was concerned since you haven't been seen at any parties recently. Baron Morto, I've just been occupied with some matters lately. Thank you for your concern. Baron Morto, Giselle's father, runs a merchant guild that monopolizes grenades. He has secretly profited unfairly from my relationship with Giselle. I turned a blind eye before because of Giselle, but that's no longer necessary. By the way, how is Giselle? I heard he was seriously injured. He must have been quite embarrassed. Haha, his wounds are severe, which is why he couldn't attend today's party. It's not the severity of his wounds, but his embarrassment that keeps him away. Speaking of which, Lady Rapier, have you heard any recent news? I'm thinking of investing in a new product. I apologize for bringing this up, but the guild's management has been, as expected, like father, like son. They always try to take advantage of me. Duke Kristoff has recently shown great interest in flowers. Flowers? What kind? Tulips? They're said to symbolize the grace of the imperial family and are quite popular among high-ranking nobles right now. They've become so rare that they're even being gambled with. Gambling with flowers? Yes, indeed. Of course, it's just a rumor I've heard, so don't take it too seriously. While the price may have risen, Duke Kristoff will soon lose interest. But this guy is too clumsy to realize that. What did you just say, my lady? You're introducing a man to me? Why are you so surprised? It's about time you start thinking about marriage, isn't it? But it's always been on my mind. Even knowing you wanted to become a noble, I couldn't do anything for you, who's like a sister to me. He is a young man from a noble family. I won't force you, but please consider meeting him for my sake. He's a wonderful man, and I'm sure you'll like him. Thank you, truly thank you, Lady Yulia. There's no need for thanks between us. I'm so relieved, Melissa. To think you'd so easily discard Giselle, you're even greedier than I anticipated. You look absolutely stunning, Melissa. I'm sure he'll think so too. Really? Definitely. You look every bit the elegant, noble lady. Thank you so much, my lady. Well then, I'll be heading out now. All right, good luck. Smith, take the tulip bulbs from the greenhouse and deliver them to the market immediately. Set the price at half the current market rate. Half price, you say? Yes, at half price, and ensure that those bulbs are only sold to the Morto barony. Understood, my lady. Should we sell them at the same reduced price to the Morto barony? What are you talking about, Smith? Sell them at full price. This is more than I expected. The distribution records from the Morto Trading Company sent to the Rapier family as sponsors don't match the actual records. I suspected deception, but I didn't expect it to be this severe. And all the money borrowed using the Rapier name? Where has it all gone? I need to check with the investors. My lady. What is it, Smith? Master has returned. Father is back? Yes, Father. Oh, Yulia, you're early. It's been a while. How have you been? You arrived earlier than expected. Was there an urgent matter? Well, actually, since it's almost dinner time, let's have a meal and discuss things in detail. The Emperor is asking for me. Yes. Why is this happening all of a sudden? You'll understand more when you meet him, but he wants to ask you to be his official partner. What's going on? This seems quite sudden, especially with the swordsmanship tournament coming up. Actually, the Emperor has been receiving numerous marriage proposals lately. To avoid dealing with substitutes or nobles, the Emperor specifically asked me to arrange this meeting. If you're uncomfortable, I can decline on your behalf. Now that I think about it, there have been rumors about the Emperor's marriage recently. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Anyway, Berlus Circa is probably out of the country by now. Being the Emperor's official partner could be a good way to provoke Giselle. Since it's the Emperor's request, I can't easily refuse. I'll do it, Father. By the way, you haven't mentioned anything about Giselle recently. Is something wrong? Actually, I've been reevaluating my relationship with Giselle. He's a good person, but there's been a lot of talk about him lately. I'm not sure how he would be as a husband. I see. Well then, do what you think is best. Is it really okay? You wouldn't suggest this without reason. Even now, it's okay to meet someone better if you have the chance. Phew, I'm relieved. He didn't ask for details. I'm sorry, Father, I just don't want to cause unnecessary worry. I'll explain everything properly later. Everything proceeded smoothly, or so I thought. So, how much did you give to Berlus Circa before meeting him? Anzielamira. Your Majesty, Lady Rapier has arrived. You're here at last? The daughter of Valdemar Rapier, Yulia Rapier. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Thank you for making the trip. Would you like a cup of tea? I apologize for the sudden request, but I appreciate your willingness to come so promptly. The situation around me is quite chaotic. It's no trouble at all. I'm happy to assist Your Majesty. I will do my best, despite any limitations. Honestly, I didn't expect you to agree to my request. After all, you're deeply devoted to your lover. Why are you surprised? It's probably common knowledge in social circles. How does your lover feel about this? Was there a disagreement? I prefer not to discuss my personal matters here. These issues often arise from seemingly minor concerns. Let me get to the point. I'm not one for beating around the bush. So, how much did you give to Beryl Circa? How does this man know about that? There's no use pretending ignorance. Beryl Circa has already revealed everything. To be straightforward, what I want from you is simple. Bring the person with the power of the Red Dragon before me. The Red Dragon? How does he know about that? Did Beryl Circa mention this during the interrogation? If that's the case, I'm relieved, but still, I'm sorry, but that person has already gone abroad. No one should know about this power. Then you should just bring him back. I must refuse. Why is that? He's someone I don't particularly like, and I prefer not to be personally involved any further. Is that so? Then it seems there's no alternative. In that case, I must propose something to you. Proposal? What are you talking about? Yes, a proposal. It would be disappointing to invite a noble lady here and gain nothing from it. Marriage is a more certain arrangement than just a partnership. I'm sorry, but I must decline that offer as well. Is that so? This is quite troublesome. I didn't expect to be rejected. What do you mean? I apologize if this seems impolite, but what made you think I wouldn't refuse? After all, this is the Emperor. Isn't it obvious? I'm handsome and wealthy. It's baffling that you'd question it. Anyway, my lady must choose between the two options. Otherwise, I'll tell your father that you manipulated the Sacred Academy tournament. That should stir up quite a buzz in social circles. This Emperor, how could he be so petty and scheming? I feel like I've aged 10 years. The Emperor knew about that affair. What am I supposed to do now? Knock, knock, my lady, Lord Giselle has arrived. Giselle, tell him to come in. Long time no see, Yulia. How have you been? I've really missed you. Let's set aside the Emperor's matters for now. I heard the news, Giselle. Are you feeling better now? Yes, I'm fine. For now, let's focus on the situation at hand. I must have shown you an embarrassing side of me. Not at all. Why would I care about such things? Thank you for saying that. Oh, by the way, what about Melissa? I haven't seen her around lately. Melissa is meeting someone right now. Actually, I introduced her to a charming gentleman who suits her perfectly. I really enjoyed today, James. I wonder if I can always be this happy. Please don't say that, Lady Jean. If it means I get to see your joyful smile, I'd be willing to do anything. James, I love you, Lady Jean. No, Melissa. Ah, this is wonderful. When I'm with him, I feel my empty heart being filled. I hope this moment lasts forever. What are you doing right now? Get away, will you? On whose permission? Sir Giselle? How dare you touch her with those filthy hands, you scoundrel? What's going on all of a sudden? Let go of him. What is this? Why were you hugging such a man? That's why I told you it was just a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Are you going to keep spouting that nonsense? Lady Yulia introduced that man to me. How could I refuse? So it's because of Yulia. Huh? Now you're just making up excuses. If Yulia told you so, will you even remove your undergarments in front of that man? What? Take that back. And if I don't want to, what else can you do besides flirting with men? The more I hear, the more it seems like a spectacle. How long do we have to listen to this? We should pay close attention in case they say something strange. By the way, you look upset. Wasn't it enjoyable with Melissa, James? No, Zen. Don't even bring it up. How fawning and whiny he is. You made your only older cousin do such a thing. Sorry, but the only person I can ask this favor of is you, right? I can't believe you're using a wizard like me for such a trivial task. My cousin and the senior wizard of the Magic Tower, Zen, is my only blood relative who knows about my situation, and he's helping me get revenge. During the past Academy match, Zen's help in changing appearances was crucial. Now, he's not only helping to split up Giselle and Melissa, but he also mentors me in magic. Since I previously taught you the theory of healing magic, we'll try it for real today. I'm learning magic from Zen to use my body's overflowing mana more effectively. By the way, what happened with the task regarding the Emperor? Shouldn't you be finding a way to silence him first? First, I need a stand-in for that. You're not asking me to do it again, are you? Tulips? What's with you now? Cat got your tongue? Huh? Oh, it's nothing. I just thought of a good idea. So, have you thought it over? Lady Rapier, I'll bring him as the Emperor requested. However, only under one condition. Condition? I'm sure you know that investing in flowers is booming within the Empire, right? Investment? Are you referring to the tulip trend among the nobles? I want that trend to be cracked down. While it's not a difficult task, I want to hear why I should grant this favor. I don't think you're in a position to propose a condition. I'll make sure you'll have no choice but to grant it. If you refuse, your Majesty will never find anyone who uses the power of the Red Dragon. All right, I'll grant your favor. However, I have a condition of my own. Wait, as I suggested the other day, As I suggested earlier, become my official partner. Instead of what? As mentioned before, my condition is that I find the one who used the power of the red dragon. It's true I'm searching for that person, my lady. However, I refuse to make a losing deal. So, what will it be? Why not settle for a compromise now? It would benefit both of us. I have no choice. I will accept your Majesty's conditions. It seems they were more complicated than I anticipated. For now, I'm at a disadvantage, so I'll quietly accept. I'm glad you accepted. Wait. To be honest, I was a bit worried. I was concerned about what I would do if I got rejected again. Now that the business is finished, I'll be on my way. Take care. Just to ask, Your Majesty, are you doing this on purpose? Teasing the young lady like that isn't like you. Teasing? What do you take me for? Well, it was a bit mischievous. I just want to keep provoking her. A week has passed since I met the Emperor. After that day, the Emperor fulfilled his promise promptly. He began cracking down on illegal fighting rings across the Empire and even labeled tulips as vulgar flowers. Though it was a trend that would soon fade, the Emperor's actions had an immediate impact. Merchants who had speculated on tulips quickly faced ruin, including Baron Morto. Having borrowed extensively to buy tulip bulbs, the Baron turned to me for help. In exchange, I didn't set a repayment date, but had him sign an agreement, allowing me to set it with just a week's notice. But this likely wouldn't last long. My lady, young Master Morto requests an audience with you. He arrived sooner than expected. Let him in. I'm sorry to bring this up immediately, Yulia. Given the situation, I have no other choice. Please, Yulia, help our merchant guild just one more time. I'm sorry, I really don't deserve your help. I was wondering when that would come up. Now he's even sending his own child to beg. Baron Morto, his child doesn't even know what he did to me. Raise your head, Giselle. There's no need for such formality between us. Yulia, don't worry too much. It's impossible right now, but I'll find a way somehow. I'm sorry. I know this must be a particularly busy time for you. You called for me. My lady, you're here, Melissa. But there's no one else I can turn to except you. A favor, you say. Please, could you give this to Giselle? These are the jewels I've been saving up slowly. As you know, the Morto barony has been struggling lately. This should help, even if just a little. Don't worry, my lady. I'll make sure to deliver these jewels to Lady Giselle. That's quite reassuring, Melissa. I trust you, especially your reliability. Sure,